And yes, we are live. Good morning, boys and girls. What's going on out there today? It is Brent Abel here, webtennis.com, with yet another episode of 7 Around 7. And as we've been working on this week, today is Wednesday, July 21st. Monday, Tuesday, we were working on the offensive forehand rally ball. We're going to continue that theme today. Because what I've got for you starting tomorrow is I've got a brand new course that I'm really, really excited about. I just think it's going to make a real difference in your game in terms of, number one, clarity, right? Number one, clarity, which is, a couple things. Number one is going to be mindset on the topspin forehand rally ball. Number two is going to be the simplicity of the technique. I've got 3 keys that I'm going to give you so that you can really be consistent, but at the same time you can make it offensive. Hey, Rich, good morning. Lefty, always good to have you on. Tactics, right? I've got to give you some tactics. I've got to give you a few ways to use this in terms of just kind of throwing it right back up the middle and that kind of thing. And then I've got a 2-step practice progression plan that I want to give to you that will, number one, take you through, how do we tinker, consciously tinker on these 3 keys for technique? How do we consciously tinker on the tactical part so that you start to feel comfortable with it? And also the mindset as well, right? And then that's kind of the first part of the practice plan. And then the second part of the practice plan is, look, how do we trust our practice, right? How do we actually take the conscious part and go over to subconscious so that we don't have to think about how to manufacture any of this stuff at all, and it becomes natural, becomes instinctive, right? So that's what's coming out tomorrow. I want you guys to make sure that you're looking for an announcement from me tomorrow, both on Facebook, YouTube, but also on my email list as well. And guys, if you're not on my email list, man, you got to jump on that thing. Just go over to webtennis.com, drop in a first name and email address, and you will get access to the free members area. I've got 6 free courses over there, a lot of other paid for courses as well. All right, guys. So look, one of the things about getting more offensive with your forehand rally ball is recognizing that there's going to be times when you create an unintended opportunity, right? And unintended means exactly as that word is you might have an intention and an intention to simply play the ball. Let's call it right up the middle. And here it is for me, right? And I've told you before that this is a ball that I love right here because I'm standing inside the baseline, right? I like to be inside the baseline because this helps me take advantage of an unintended opportunity. I'm not saying that I'm always inside. Obviously, there are times when you're back behind the baseline. But in this particular case, because I took the return pretty early, off a weaker second serve, and ended up playing it from, really halfway between the baseline and the service line here, where there were some different things I could do from here, right? I can do what I did, which was to kind of just play a slider back up the middle, kind of slightly cross court. Who's to say I couldn't play a drop shot here? I could. Who's to say I couldn't play an approach up the line? Certainly could. In this case, I opted for, let's just slide it back sort of in the middle, and this is where I'm going to end up. So here comes his forehand, right? And my intention, this is like the end of the match, and I remember this point vividly, is right here. I'm intending to kind of just roll it where I've been rolling it up high a little bit over in this area of the court. I think you've seen that in the last couple of days, taking the forehand, rolling it up deep to the backhand side. And this one, my intention was, let's roll it up high to the forehand side, right? Well, I don't know about you guys, but here I am playing indoors. I don't see the ball as well indoors as I do outdoors. And so I get a little bit early on this shot, trying to go up, but I get out in front a hair too much, catch it here, and now the next thing I know is it's not a high roller. It's kind of more of a medium-sized drive, medium-high drive, and I go, but you know what? This is an unintended opportunity to take advantage. Got him stretched out and move on in and get a short ball, wait on it, and just slide it into the open court. So let's go ahead and take a look at this in real time, right? And again, part of the offensive topspin forehand rally ball is mindset. And one of the things that Mr. Stowe always told us on this shot right here was to feel, could you approach? Could you be set up in a way that if you wanted to approach on this, that you could, that you weren't always kind of, I think as we see too much now is where you're kind of leaning backwards and jumping up through the ball, because you might be able to hit a pretty high quality forehand topspin rally ball that way. But could you take advantage of an unintended opportunity? And I'm telling you right now, there is no one on this planet who is going to be able to give you the answer as to how to hit a topper forehand rally ball, jump backwards, and still be able to maybe, approach if you wanted to. So Mr. Stowe was always getting us in our head saying, could you approach? And, well, yeah, I could approach, and there it is. So, yeah. Yeah. Look, tomorrow, I want you guys to be looking for it, either email or on social, Facebook, YouTube. I've got this course. I'm putting the finishing touches on it today. As I said earlier, I'm really excited about this one. I mean, I'm excited about all of them, but this one, I don't know why, but it's just the clarity in terms of helping you guys solve one of the big problems, I think, with a classic forehand ground stroke is the fact that it lands short too often, the fact that it gets shanked or mishit too often, and lots of times it just sits up, right? And so let's think differently about how we can take advantage of a standard topper forehand rally ball. Let's kick it up a notch in terms of mindset, in terms of tactics, and really get some clarity as to how this could produce a lot of opportunities for you. Whereas before, I think the topspin forehand rally ball has been thought of as way too passive, right? It's just, I'm throwing it in there. It's just gonna, worst, it'll keep the point neutral. And yet I think that we can do better, right? And for me, this was a big epiphany not that long ago. I mean, when I won the 60 hard courts in 2009, what was that, 11 years ago? I was pure serve and volley. I mean, that was my second year in the 60s, and I didn't know anything other than serve and volley. Kind of crazy, right? And so, I mean, I was serving and volleying 100% of the time in the first serve, probably 95% in the second serve, and the other 5% when I wasn't on the second serve, I don't even know why. Maybe it just, I don't know. But eventually, over the next couple of years, the reality of aging up a little bit, and which would mean that the serve has lost a little bit of MPH. The getting in for that first transitional volley or half volley or approach, whatever, maybe lost half a step there. Everything kind of added up to, you know what? I think you better learn a little bit more of a ground stroke game. You're going to have to adapt. And look, the big thing for me was actually, again, winning the hard courts in 2009, getting selected to the USA team, the Von Cram Cup team, when we went to Perth, Australia, and playing on the artificial grass that they had there in Perth. And this one morning, and this was actually after the team event, this was the individual event the following week, and it had rained that morning. I had to play a 9 o'clock match, and it had rained that morning, and we went out to practice at around 8:15, and the court was still kind of wet. And I just assumed that the tournament director was going to say, well, we better hold off. Well, sure enough, you hear the announcement, all 9 o'clock matches, please check in. I'm going, okay, well, we're going to check in. And they're going to tell us that, well, we're probably not going to play till 10. Well, dang, they go, 9 o'clock matches, check in. I checked in around, I don't know, 5 minutes to 9. And they said, Mr. Abel, you're playing so-and-so and you're on court number whatever. I kind of looked at them and said, well, but it's wet out there and it's not. And they just said, go. So we went out there, warmed up, and I, served. And I won the spin, elected to serve. And the very first point, I'm coming in, the very first point of the match, first serve goes in, the return comes back, I split step, and it's like I'm on ice, right? My legs just go out from underneath me. I do the classic split. I'm kind of sitting down there wondering, is this really going to hurt here? And actually, I was okay. But got up, and the second point decided, maybe I can't split quite as normally as I would. Came in, same thing happened. And I kind of realized from that moment, well, what am I going to do? I don't really have a ground stroke game. And I ended up losing the match, against a guy who, I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm not saying I would beat this guy 10 out of 10 times, but I certainly wouldn't lose 10 out of 10 times to this guy. And so that got me to, thinking I got to go home, start working on being able to stay in the point longer in terms of a ground stroke game. And eventually the epiphany came to me over time as to what's a more offensive rally ball, forehand rally ball. Hey, Chris, good morning. I'll be playing at those courts in Perth tomorrow. Well, hopefully it won't be raining at 8 o'clock or by 8 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, so, and it's just over time, it's just kind of morphed into a clarity now in terms of a staple part of my game, which is more of an offensive topspin forehand rally ball. So anyway, enough said for today. I'll let you guys go. Be looking for the announcement tomorrow for this new course. I've got it packaged into a bundle for you, so and the price is ridiculous. Anyway. So it's a no-brainer offer for you. Hope you guys will take advantage of it if you really want to take that forehand topspin rally ball and let's kick it up a notch or 3 or 4 or 10 or whatever. In the meantime, would love to hear what's going on from you today down below in the comments section. Rich and Chris, good to hear from you. You can do it there, or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com, and promise to get back to you. Guys, with that said, it's time. All of us got to get out there today. Help someone else have a oh, and by the way, Friday, day after tomorrow, we got the great Jeff Jacklich, my partner in gold ball hunting, is going to join us. A live version, 7 around 7, this coming Friday on the 23rd. And he's got a little something to kind of get in your face about. Oh, yeah. It's about 3 technique mistakes that a lot of players make. And he's going to talk about them in general, but they really apply. They really apply to this topper forehand rally ball. And so, look, make sure you're on our live version. Always fun to hang out with Jeff. It'll be this Friday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, for another version of 7 around 7 with the great Jeff Jacklich. All right, guys, again, that's it. Going on. Get out there. Help another individual have a spectacular day, guys. I'll see you again tomorrow.